Week 44. Day 302, on listening to your gut. You might find the idea of listening to your gut feelings odd or even ridiculous. Some people I coach, normally left-brain individuals who use logic and facts all day like engineers or accountants, are not used to following their intuition and feelings. Instead of asking themselves "what do I feel?" they are more comfortable asking "what do the facts tell me?" Nigel Cumberland. Using logic and facts is essential in accomplishing your goals, but sometimes it's important to listen to your gut, instead of what you can determine through using a rational thinking process. For example, I was once running a company in a profitable industry, with a good and proven business model. There were many possibilities for growth, clients enjoyed the service, and it was probable that, with enough persistence, I would get venture capital funding and expert coaching. However, in my gut I felt that the business wasn't for me. It clashed with my personality, and no amount of rational thinking, facts, and logic would have persuaded me otherwise. In the end, I sold the company and it proved to be the right decision, a decision that was based primarily on my intuition and feelings, not logic. Don't ignore the usefulness of your gut feelings. It's fine to be self-disciplined and remain persistent no matter what, but if deep down you no longer care about your goal or it otherwise makes you feel uneasy, let your intuition make its case. It's highly probable that it's right. Day 303, on Buddha's Counsel. The Buddha also counseled the monks and nuns to avoid wasting any precious time by engaging in idle conversation, oversleeping, pursuing fame and recognition, chasing after desires, spending time with people of poor character, and being satisfied with only a shallow understanding of the teaching. Thich Nhat Hanh. Buddha's advice offers several interesting challenges you can dedicate yourself to in order to work on your self-discipline. The first one is not engaging in idle conversation. Small talk might be useful to initiate a conversation, but the sooner you get to the business at hand, the more effective your communication will be. By idle conversation, we can also include gossip, criticizing others, or complaining, all of which are not practices in which a disciplined person should engage. The second suggestion is simple: avoid oversleeping. As long as you don't need more sleep to recover from a difficult workout, illness, or any other similar situation, sleeping too much doesn't deliver any benefits and, according to scientific research, might even hurt. In one study, sleeping too much was associated with psychiatric diseases and higher body mass index 303. The third suggestion advises against the pursuit of fame and recognition. Too often, people care too much about their status in other people's eyes and neglect other, more important aspects of their lives, which may only be visible to themselves. Focus on becoming better, but not necessarily with the expectation that somebody will reward you for it. The fourth recommendation is not to chase after desires. There's not much to add here. This entire book is about learning how to control them and focus on something more important than your temporary urges. The fifth piece of advice pertains to structuring your social life in a disciplined way. Spending time with people of poor character increases the risk that you'll develop a poor character, too. Lastly, Buddha reminds us not to be satisfied with only a shallow understanding of what we're learning. This advice is particularly useful for students and virtually any person learning a new skill. Resist the temptation to learn just the bare minimum and only scratch the surface of the topic you're learning before you leave it altogether. Use your willpower to make sure that you thoroughly understand the fundamentals and then proceed to more advanced concepts, so that you deepen your understanding of what you are seeking to learn. Day 304, on the unsexy reality of work. How much time can you spare each day? For that interval, close the door and, short of a family emergency or the outbreak of World War III, don't let anybody in. Keep working. Keep working. Keep working. Stephen Pressfield. Some people believe that super productive individuals have some kind of a secret or a natural inborn talent that allows them to produce so much output. However, the reality is unsexy. All they do is put themselves in front of their computers, or whatever else they need to do their job, close the door, and work. There are no miraculous solutions, no pills, frameworks, or blueprints that the most productive people have to be able to produce more than you do. When reading his masterpieces, it's difficult to imagine Stephen King simply sitting in his room and tapping away on his keyboard, but that's how his day-to-day life looks. If you're unsure whether you're doing it right because there's nothing attractive nor particularly outstanding in how you perform your daily work, stop worrying. Everyone else, including world-class performers, works in the exact same way. The only difference between you and them is that they have spent a bit more time than you have, working on their craft, but there's a level playing field here that requires the same resources from every participant: self-discipline, persistence, and an unbreakable resolve. Day 305, on the addiction to electronics. It is one of the unexpected disasters of the modern age that our new unparalleled access to information has come at the price of our capacity to concentrate on anything much. The deep, immersive thinking which produced many of civilization's most important achievements has come under unprecedented assault. We are almost never far from a machine that guarantees us a mesmerizing and libidinous escape from reality. The feelings and thoughts which we have omitted to experience while looking at our screens are left to find their revenge in involuntary twitches and our ever-decreasing ability to fall asleep when we should. And a button. There's no denying the fact that modern technology is a blessing. It allows us to learn, make money, connect with our loved ones and other people from all over the world, entertain ourselves, and with each passing year, do a whole lot more. Yet, there exists a danger of becoming addicted to electronics. Smartphones reduce our attention spans, easy access to information makes us too lazy to learn, and since it's now so easy to get new things delivered to your doorstep, we're constantly looking for a new shiny thing that will be the ultimate magic pill and solution to all of our problems. I don't believe that technology is our enemy, but I do believe that too much of it, as with excess in anything, leads to problems. Fortunately, where there's a problem, there's an opportunity to learn. You can dramatically improve your self-control by periodically reducing the amount of time spent using your phone or other devices. For example, while you're on vacation, resist the temptation to take a picture and share it on Facebook. Instead, focus on the present moment and engrave it in your memories, not your social feed. In the evening, at least every now and then, turn off all of the blue light emitting devices and spend an hour reading a book. You'll have an easier time falling asleep, and it will be more recharging, too. Whenever you catch yourself feeling anxious to check your phone or social media feeds, it's a sign that you're losing control. Re-establish it by periodically going on short technology fasts or deliberately checking your phone less often than usual. Day 306, on ignorance. There is nothing more frightful than ignorance in action. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Ignorance is a manifestation of laziness. Instead of actively choosing to expand your knowledge, you instead choose to willfully bypass the opportunity to educate yourself. A side effect of ignorance is the fostering of negligence and laxity, two traits that are the opposite of what a successful person should embrace in their life. Disregarding important information and choosing to not know when you do have access to education is like willfully asking for trouble. Being financially illiterate, for example, can lead to economic problems. Ignoring the needs of your partner, instead of learning about what they need from you, can destroy your relationship. Ignorance of the law can lead to prison. Ignoring new technologies and failing to learn about relevant modern inventions makes you less relevant in your professional life. Choose to be prepared rather than ignorant. Know too much instead of too little. Practice your self-discipline by constantly expanding your knowledge, and don't discontinue your self-education when the truth is uncomfortable or leads to difficult questions. Day 307, on breaking your rules. Laws and principles are not for the times when there is no temptation, they are for such moments as this, when body and soul rise in mutiny against their rigor. If at my convenience I might break them, what would be their worth? Charlotte Bronte. We've already talked about adopting principles you'll live by in order to make your decision-making process more efficient and make choices that are more aligned with your true desires. It's important to note that those principles aren't for the times when everything goes smoothly. In fact, you don't necessarily need them when things are going well. It's primarily when there's a temptation to give up that you can experience the power of rules. You create them to prevent yourself from making the wrong choices, no matter what the circumstances or in which temptations you feel. For example, I have a rule that growth happens outside my comfort zone. I don't always feel like subjecting myself to discomfort and fear. However, there's a reason why I adopted such a rule. Without it, I know that I would back out more often, and thus miss out on those opportunities to grow. Whenever you feel a temptation to break your rule, remind yourself that it's there for a reason. Breaking it means that the principle, and the reason why you chose it, isn't important to you. What does breaking your own rules say about your reliability? Can you trust yourself if you fail to keep a promise that you made to yourself? Day 308, on not having money. If only I had more money is the easiest way to postpone the intense self-examination and decision-making necessary to create a life of enjoyment, now and not later. Tim Ferriss. It's easy to say that you don't have money and consider it the ultimate excuse as to why you aren't working on your goals. I don't have money, so I won't start exercising because I can't afford fitness equipment. I don't have money, so I won't start saving money because how can I save money if I don't have it? I don't have money, so I won't start eating more healthily because healthy food is too expensive. Is it really true that nobody has ever become fit without having loads of money? The marketing techniques of the fitness industry lead you to think that expensive gear is needed to get fit, but many do without it, often as their own choice, and are more than fine. Are you really unable to save even $1 a day, just to establish a new positive habit? Are you saying that your every single purchase is necessary and can't be reduced even by a small fraction? Is healthy food really more expensive than junk food? Ask any person taking hypertension or diabetes medication, caused by their own bad dietary choices, whether they think that eating junk food was a more economical choice. You don't need to eat all organic or shop in expensive stores to eat healthily. Using money as an excuse is taking the easy way out, defaulting to mental laziness rather than seeking a solution. True, it helps you avoid some effort and hard thinking today, but costs you future improvements in your life and leads to a victim mentality.